for me, it was easy. Let me take my black womanness and my black fight and take it to all in and bring all of the work from the collaborative agreement that represents black women, their children, and their family. And since black women have the oldest souls in the world, our mitochondria is the oldest marker of souls, meaning that we birth the world. Sometimes the burden and the work is heavier for us, but because our souls are older and we're much more wiser, we love brilliantly, we love collectively, we love selflessly, but sometimes we don't turn that love back around to us. So being connected to All in Cincinnati, representing black women in the 5 areas that we've elected to do it is amazing work, and I'm here for it. I'm all in. So I was born on the front line. My grandmother was Vivian Kennedy, and she was a very huge, motivating, inspirational, fight the power black woman in the city of Cincinnati. Much more than just an activist, because activism gets a very negative connotation, and I don't prescribe to that. I'm a taxpayer, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. I'm concerned about my people, and that's how I was raised. And I was raised in this community-bred development in Aberdeen, and it was called the Black House. And that's why I was born and raised, where I learned self-defense, political awareness, community responsibility, and who I would become as a woman. Now, was Cincinnati ready for that woman? No, I don't think so. I've always been one who will push back and away. Whether you accept it as my love or my protection of my people or myself, all things matter. So whether Cincinnati loves it or not or gets it, I think that the work that I've done with the Cincinnati Black United Front, especially around the collaborative agreement, all of what was put into me came right at the right time, right moment. Doesn't mean it didn't hurt. Doesn't mean it is thankless. Doesn't mean you just want to say, why are we still fighting for the same things that my grandmother fought for? So for me, it's so deep and it's so unbelievably real internally for me. It is every day, because I can wake up every day and while people, say you can't attack everything, but everything is always attacking us. And I'm not afraid to do that. And that's what the training has done. And that is what has helped me sustain the work of a collaborative, taking on an industry, taking on a systematic entity that we've seen across the country historically brutalize, beat us, murder us, rape us, traumatize us historically. We've taken that on here in the city of Cincinnati, and I think, again, all of that development that was put in me and all the love that I get from the elders today and the fight from young folk rests right there. And so it was an easy walk into the path of All in Cincinnati. It was an easy transition, even though the work is hard, because again, we're fighting for black women. And most people, including some black women, don't believe that we deserve to have that fight forward. So all in Cincinnati was not here. The advocacy work would be just advocacy work. You have to take advocacy and put it into something. It has to rest and reside in something that's going to move it to the next level. That's the form of policy, procedures, guidelines, amendments, all of the standard operational proceedings, every day. You want to solidify it in something that is going to be sustainable and institutionalized so that you can continue to see that change grow and fester into greater things, because shift happens. But if it's not internalized, if it's not ingrained, if it's not solidified, I don't care what they say about books, people still read, and yes, we still read books. Make sure it's written into something. Make sure that the changes that you're seeking are just not in your mind. Get them out of it, put them down, get the signatures that you need, institutionalize it, refurbish it, continuous improvement, problem solve it, and make sure you have it down. Policies, procedures, guidelines, standard operating procedures. Wherever you are, make sure it resides and rests there. This is one of the parts and parcels of the collaborative agreement. One of the most important parts of it is our citizens complaint authority. Started with community to hear the complaints. Take the complaints, turn the complaints into training, which was written, turn the training into policy, which is written, turn the policy into action with benchmarks and protocols to make it doable and applicable to what you're talking about. Now, every month we review cases coming to the Citizens Complaint Authority based on the evolution of that work, on the steps and the building blocks to get us here so that we're able to review each case, we're able to look at what the executive director said, we're able to look at findings about police behaviors, we're able to look at recommendations for better policing. Now, why is that critical for us, Courtney? Because the class inside of the collaborative is all African Americans and or Black people who are perceived as such. In order to monitor the Black people, the way Black people are policed in the city of Cincinnati, and you don't have to live here. You can just walk on the streets and therapists. That's what the class reads as. So if we didn't have that in place to follow the guidelines, the policy, right? We wouldn't have this today. We signed that in 2001. We're in the year of 2024. Had we not written it down, codified this entity first, meaning it's the law, so that people can't just come in and shut it down and you get a new mayor, you get a new police chief, or you get new people, new council people. They can't just come in and shut this down. You have to put this on the ballot and the citizens have to vote for it. But in order to sustain and to be able to see the pathway forward, you have to put things into language, policy again, procedures again, guidelines, training. The work of the collaborative is in applications when police officers apply to become police. The language is all around. So if it's not written, it's not a guide, it's not a policy, it doesn't mean much. That's critical. And we know once we do this, the other part of doing this and solidifying it is not to get up and walk away from it. Make sure it grows. Make sure that what was the thought and the feeling and the impact shows in the work. That's why we're 23 years later, reviewing what we wrote in 2001, looking at the refresh in 2018, and making sure that Black people feel the change in the way policing is done in the city of Cincinnati. But it's all written. It's here. As a founding core team member of All In Cincinnati, what I'm looking forward to is the next big project that the nation and I are going to work on, because it will begin to breach industries for Black women, and then to breach an industry for Black women to be able to send them into the places where we need them most, with other Black women and their families, to be the maiden, which is the connector, and that's a biblical term, show that how families live and how they exist in this city with other populations of people is on an equitable level. And that we truly can really get to what is plaguing Black families, Black women, and begin to help them in such a ginormous way by utilizing all of our community partners, all of the support that we've had over the last 3.5, almost 4 years, and that we continue just to do the work. I just want my mind blown every time All In steps out and does work. So I am so looking forward to it. Looking forward to bringing in younger Black women into the fold on the core team, and to help build a robust coalition so that it never goes away. That's what I'm most happy about.